Lyndon
Okay.
Lebayan.
Hi guys, my name is Lyndon. I'm a professional software developer and an amateur wedding videographer. My previous Lumix S5 II video was kind of different because it was just my thoughts on YouTubers' thoughts on the camera. This time is different because I've actually had one for about 3 weeks now. So I want to say thank you to my wife who let me buy it and my recent 2024 booking. You know, I was able to lock in a booking for 2024 and was able to buy this guilt-free. So that's why I have it now. Just for context, I've stopped taking 2023 bookings. I'm done with 2023, so if I'm buying new gear, it's gonna be because of 2024 and 2025 bookings. But yeah, so I've had the camera for like about 3 weeks. Kind of hard to get any test shooting in because our weather's been jumping back and forth between -30, -2, back to -30, but I was able to take it out last weekend beyond shooting, you know, indoors, shooting my wife and my dog outside in the backyard, and I got some thoughts, mainly about the same 3 topics as before: autofocus, IBIS, auto white balance, and auto white balance lock. A feature that no one's really talking about, but we'll get into it. Walking around with the wife, we visited a place called Pine Ridge Hollow. They have this new like little strip mall where you can buy knickknacks or whatever. I tried to test the auto white balance feature in there, but the windows are so huge and they overpowered the indoor lighting, so I had to do another test with auto white balance, which we'll get into later. The autofocus was pretty good. Typically how I would be using it is following or just be stationary with someone walking down an aisle towards or away from the camera. And the autofocus is actually really good, really impressive, especially with the case with the GH6, where the GH6 autofocus never really lost somebody. You know, I would never really lose a subject. The nature of contrast autofocus, you'd get the fluttering, you know, or the stuttering, the shimmering of highlights or anything blown out in the back or the foreground, whatever was out of focus. Kinda not great for video, perfect for photo, but not great for video. And now that we got this Phase-Tech autofocus, I'd say it's pretty good. Now I was shooting at DCI 4K 60p, slowed down to 24. That's how I would be using it on wedding days. It was a great test for the IBIS and the autofocus together. So between the 24 and the 35mm-ish range, I'd say it's pretty good, especially slowed down. Both the autofocus and the IBIS performed great. Jumping up to like the 50, 85, 105, it was getting a little bit harder. And I wasn't really trying to do, you know, the super smooth ninja walk. I was just trying to walk normally without looking too crazy in public. It performed great in the 25 to 34 range, and if I controlled it a bit more for the, you know, 50 plus range, I'm sure it would have been fine. Autofocus and IBIS, outstanding. Definitely a great upgrade to the S5. So just those 2 features alone, plus the unlimited recording in the 4K 10-bit modes, is more than enough reason to upgrade from the S5 Mark I. I'll say that much. Now as for the auto white balance, I set up a test just here in the basement just to see how I'd be using the auto white balance lock. The problem I'm trying to solve with auto white balance and the locking feature is mixed lighting, low light scenarios, pointed in one direction where it's like 2700 to 3000 Kelvin, and then you point it to another direction and it's 5600 to 6000 Kelvin. I am hoping that I'd be able to just point the camera at any direction, have auto white balance take over, hit lock, shoot the shot, unlock it, and repeat in any other direction that I want to go in. Now I won't be using this outside, you know, if I know it's like, you know, 5400, 5600 Kelvin, I'll just leave it at that, but I'm talking halls, churches, restaurants, really any place where I don't have complete control of the light in every direction, and I got to deal with some random sunlight too. I set up a little test here in the basement. So I got my Legal Edges character set up with a gray card. I have 2 Aperture Lightstorm 6CXs set up with output at 50%, one at 6500 Kelvin, one at 2700 Kelvin, S5 Mark II on a tripod with the 16 to 35, and that's the basic setup for the test. So see here, I got the auto white balance feature on, but the lock feature off. When I turn off the 6500 colored light, you'll see the white balance shift over to the center slowly, and proving that auto white balance is working. A little slow, but it is working. Now when I do it with the auto white balance feature on, do the exact same thing, the vector scope isn't changing, it stays exactly the same. And then when you flip auto white balance off, you see the exact same movement as in the first test. Slowly, but it happens. The locking feature does work. I kind of wish auto white balance had some of the same settings that autofocus does in terms of speed and stickiness. You know, give it like a threshold of how fast it can move between one to to the other. But yeah, I really can't complain. While the auto white balance shifting is a little slow, I think the lock is going to be a helpful feature to use. Yeah, but that's kind of it for this video. Really not much to update. Pretty much just going to keep shooting with this until my wedding season for this year starts. I don't have any weddings till May. I am helping out other videographers in April, but my weddings don't start till May. I've only got 7 this year. I'm really not trying to take on any more. But yeah, I'll be making more videos if I have any new discoveries in the S5 Mark II. I got other ideas like wedding video related to make, and I'm gonna try to put those out too. But thanks guys for watching. A lot of you guys have been hitting me up on Instagram. I appreciate that. I might even do like a little Q&A where I answer the questions I've already answered in DMs. I think that'd be a cool video too. But thanks guys for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Damn, that was hard. Holy shit.